Good morning, learners. My name is Mr. Poch Lola. Welcome to this session in which we are going to be revising Form 4, or rather Msce Physics, some topics from Form 3 and Form 4 Physics. Especially this time when you are about starting your exams, it is important that you revise some of the important concepts, and my emphasis is on how to deal with different questions so that you maximize the number of marks in your exams. Remember that your exams are meant to help you pass, right? They're designed for you to pass. So a few tips as we go through the topics are going to help you appreciate how or what examiners expect of you in an exam, like how do you answer different questions. For example, definitions, or questions that require you to describe something, a process, questions that require you to explain a concept, questions that require you to design, some experiments and so on. So we are going to dwell on how you can maximize the number of marks in an exam. Okay, so welcome to this topic. We are revising a topic called pressure. Question number 1 is saying define pressure and state its SI unit. So pressure is simply force acting normally per unit area, or simply force per unit area. It's okay. Remember that pressure, P, is force divided by area. Okay, so the definition of pressure is force acting normally per unit area. Okay, that's the definition of pressure, the term called pressure. The other part is asking you for SI unit. So SI unit of pressure is Newton per square meter or Pascal. So you can give any of these two units. It's Newton per square meter, or per square meter, Newton per square meter, Newton per square meter, or Pascal, PA. Okay, so any one of these. Don't write both, just write one. Both of them are SI units. They are acceptable as the SI units. Question number 2, plowing. Plowing tractors have very wide tires. Explain why. Plowing tractors have very wide tires. Explain why. All right. Plowing tractor looks something like this. This is a plowing tractor. So if you look at the tires are very, very wide. You can see the tires are very, very wide. Why? Why are they not small like this? Okay. So ideally, the reason is, if you go back to your definition of pressure, remember pressure is force divided by area. Okay, so if you keep force constant, suppose you keep the force constant, it means that the pressure will entirely depend on the size of area. Okay, so let's suppose that we increase the area. When the area is increased, you'll expect the result, the pressure, to be less. Okay, so ideally we are saying that the tractor tires are wider in order to increase. One, area is increased. Secondly, as a result of increasing the area, pressure is decreased. Okay, so when pressure is decreased, the tires will not sink into the mud, or the tractor will not sink into the mud. Remember that for this to efficiently operate, the tires must not sink into the mud, into the ground. So in order to prevent the tires from sinking into the ground, then pressure must be made as small as possible. as less as possible. So how is the pressure reduced? It's by increasing the size of the tires. The width of the tires must be made as large as possible so that pressure is less. Okay, that's what we are saying there. Okay, so the answer to the question is, if you are to get maximum max, you need to say that, you shall say that pressure in the solid decreases with increase in area of contact. Okay, so these tractors have wide tires. Okay, that's the answer to the question. So we are saying the tractors have wide tires to increase the area in contact. So the wide tires increase area in contact so as to reduce the pressure exerted by the tractor on the ground. Where do you get your marks from? Your mark comes from saying that in order to increase the area in contact, and then need to reduce the pressure exerted by the tractor on the ground. So you have one mark for saying this and another mark for saying that. That's why you have 2 marks there. The other sentences, like the first part, may not be that important. This part here may not be that necessary for you to say, but you have to mention the fact that this is done in order to increase the area. Okay, so the tractors have wide tires to increase the area of contact in order to reduce the pressure exerted by the tractor on the ground. That's where I get 2 marks from. Okay, so don't include too many things in your answer. Try to be concise, go straight to the point. Question number 3. What is the reason why a trailer carrying heavy loads or goods have many wheels? Right? Okay. So remember again, this has to do with pressure. Pressure. Remember, pressure is force divided by area. Okay, so usually the force exerted is the weight of the trailer itself and the goods that are in it together. They contribute to the force acting on the ground. Okay? So this is the force or load as it is mentioned here. Okay? So usually this is constant. You keep the force constant and then concentrate on the area. So when the area is made large, the area of contact, which area are we talking about? We're talking about the area of contact between the tires and the ground or the road surface. Okay? So this must be made as large as possible. The area must be made as large as possible so that the pressure produced or the pressure of the truck or trailer on the ground is less. Okay, you can imagine if the pressure is very high, the pressure of the truck acting on the ground is very high, it means that the road is going to be damaged. So what are we saying? We are saying that the many wheels increase the area of contact between the lorry and the road, which reduces the pressure exerted by the lorry on the ground. Okay, so this prevents the trailer from sinking as it moves and also minimizes the road damage. Okay, so look, we are saying many wheels, the many wheels will increase area of contact. Okay, that's one mark. To increase area of contact, and this will reduce pressure. Another one mark is reducing pressure exerted by the load on the by the lorry on the road. So to increase area of contact between the lorry and the road, and to reduce the pressure exerted by the lorry on the road. You mentioned these 2, you already have 2 marks. The other statements are just trying to augment or to support this response that you have given. So always think in terms of pressure, So we are saying that The tires, the trailers, sorry, this is a trailer example of it. Trailer are made up of many tires or have many tires. You can see here there are many tires. You have double tires. You have this tire here. You have this, if you can see, you can look at this, you see there's a tire here, there's another tire inside, you have another tire there, many of them. Okay, all these are meant to increase the area of contact between the tires and the road. This is the road surface. Okay, so when the area is of contact between the tires and the road is large, pressure becomes less. Remember that force is kept constant here. Why we're keeping force constant is because the force will depend on the weight of this whole thing, which is fixed, which is constant, all right? So the pressure, therefore, will depend on the area of contact between the tires and the rod. So when the number of tires increases, the area of contact becomes high. Therefore, you are dividing a very big area into the constant force. Therefore, the result is less pressure. And this, in the process, will reduce damage to the rod. Very, very important to note that. Right? I hope we are together on this. All right. Question number 4 is talking about a student who is wearing sharp-pointed heeled stiletto shoes. Sharp-pointed heels are usually worn by girls. So let's suppose that we have a shoe. Suppose we have a shoe. This is very sharp. It's a very sharp-pointed shoe. So this is a shoe. This is a girl's leg, right? Okay, so we are looking at this point here, and how sharp it is, right? This sharp pointed shoe is going to exert on a very small area, very small area. Okay, it's going to act on a very, very small area. Okay, so go back to the definition of pressure again. Pressure is equal to force divided by area. Okay, so this force is basically the weight of the girl or the student. It's equal to weight, which is constant. And then the area here will affect the size of pressure. So a very sharp heel of the shoe, it means will provide a very small area of contact. Okay, so this small area of contact will lead to dividing the constant weight of the girl by a very small area. So when you divide a big number by a small number, the result is high value of pressure. Okay, so you would say that, remember you're answering the question that says, a student wearing sharp-pointed heeled shoes is likely to damage a soft wooden floor. Okay, so why? The sharp-pointed heels have very small area of contact. Hence, the pressure exerted on the soft wooden floor is large, thereby damaging the floor. That's how you do put your answer. Okay, so the small area, that's one mark, that's key concept, and this will lead to high pressure or large pressure, leading to damage. Okay, so if however you frame this answer, make sure that you mention the fact that the shoes have a small area of contact, and this leads to high pressure, hence damage to the wooden floor. All right. I hope you are following on. If you are, so far, so good. All right. So far, so good. A block of, number 5, a block of dimensions, a block of dimensions 0.2 meters by 0.1 meters by 0.5 meters, sorry, by 5 meters, centimeters, has a mass of 500 grams and rests on the flat surface. Okay. Determine the least pressure that can be exerted by the block on the surface. Okay, remember that the least pressure is exerted when the area is at its maximum. Okay, so let's see what happens. Mind you, you have two types of units here. You have 0.2 meters, which is the same as 20 centimeters. So you have 20 centimeters, and 0.1 meters, that's again 10 centimeters, 10 centimeters, and then you have 5 centimeters. Okay, 5 centimeters. So the units are now the same. Okay, so we have a block of wood here, which is resting on the flat surface. Okay, let's suppose that block is something like this. So we have a block of wood. Any other block is resting on a flat surface. Okay, so the dimensions of this block, mind you, this needs to be shown on the diagram. The dimensions, we are told that the length is 20 centimeters and the width is 10 centimeters. And then the height is 5 centimeters. Okay, so in order to remember, pressure is force divided by area. Okay, so the force here, you simply have to change this to newtons. 5 grams is the same as 5 newtons. So this is what? 1 newton. 100 grams is to 1 newton. That means 500 grams would be 5 newtons. Okay, you have to be careful there. So these are 5 newtons. 5 newtons. Okay. Now the maximum area, remember that the least pressure is when is obtained when the force is divided by the maximum area. So maximum area here is 20 centimeters. 20 centimeters multiplied by 10 centimeters. Multiplied by 10 centimeters. Okay, of which you're going to have 5 newtons divided by 100 square centimeters. 100 square centimeters, which is the same as 5 divided by 100 square centimeters is the same as You divide this by 10,000, so it will be like 0. You're dividing this by 0.0001. Okay, which in effect is going to give us a pressure of it's like you're now multiplying 5 by 1000. That is going to give you 5,000 newtons per square meter. Sorry, yeah, which is the same as 5,000 pascals. Yeah, so that's how you do that. Ignore the response that has been given in red print. There, I think there was some kind of error there which was overlooked. The dimensions here that give us the maximum area supposed to be 20 multiplied by 10, not 5 multiplied by 10 centimeters. All right, so go through this calculation and convince yourself that you can do this very well. Alternatively, or in other ways, you can also be asked to calculate or to determine the maximum, the greatest pressure. It means the greatest pressure can be obtained by simply dividing by the highest area, the largest area. All right, I hope so far so good. The next question, number 6. A box of mass of 720 kilograms is placed on a table. Okay, so we have a table. This is our table, sorry. So we have a table. And then a box of 720 kgs. So we have 720 kgs box. 720 kgs box is placed there. If the area of contact in the table is 1.8 square meters. Okay, so this area here is 1.8 square meters. Calculate the pressure it exerts on the table. All right. So what you do, remember, you are given mass. So you need to change mass to newtons. And in order to find the newtons from kilograms, all you have to do is multiply mass by 10. So take 720 multiplied by 10. It will give you a weight of, or a force of 7,200 newtons. So using pressure equals to force divided by area, you have 7,200 divided by 1.8, which you should be able to get, from which you should be able to get 4,000 newtons per square meter. You can verify this with your calculator. So we have we are given that the weight is 7,200. Divide this by 1.8. You should be able to get 4,000. So the answer is 4,000 newtons per square meter. 4,000 newtons per square meter. You remember that you can also write this as 4,000 pascals. The unit of pressure can be newtons per square meter or or pascals. Any one of these is acceptable. All right. Question number 7. Question number 7, you are told that a metallic block of mass 50 kgs exerts a pressure of 10 newtons per square meter on the surface. Determine the area of contact between the block and the surface. Right. So if pressure, remember, if pressure is equal to force divided by area, and you should be able to play around with this equation. If you are, in this case, we are asked to find the area. So you should follow that area is simply equal to force divided by pressure. That's all you have to do in order to find the area. It also follows that force is equal to pressure multiplied by area, in case you are asked to calculate any of these. All right, so this is the equation that we need to calculate the area, to determine the area of contact. Okay, so using the formula, area of contact is equal to force divided by pressure. Force divided by pressure. Remembering that force is obtained by multiplying mass by 10 newtons. So you have the force is going to be 50 multiplied by 10, which is 500 newtons. Then area is 500 divided by 10. So in this case, it's 50 square meters. Convince yourself that you can do this independently without struggling. My name once again is Mr. Pochilola, and remember to subscribe to the channel if you like, but if not, it's okay. You can still continue watching. Subscribing is not a condition for you to be part of this family, but it is wiser to join, like to subscribe. All right, so I want you to go through these problems. I think I've reached my maximum time for a particular period. Now we may continue looking at these in the next video. So once again, I must wish you all the best in your exams, which are starting, I think, in 2 days' time. Yeah, wishing you all the best. Exams are a gateway to success in future. So especially in physics, a certificate that does not have physics on it, for me, I consider it to be just a paper. So work very hard, do your best, study best, and achieve your dream of passing with a very good distinction in physics and other sciences. All right, so once again, you can request the PDF of this one which I'm using. You can request, and I'll be glad to send it to you so that you can go through the document on your own. All you have to do is comment in the comment section there and request the PDF. I'll send it to you. And also don't forget to indicate the school you are learning from. Whether you are learning at home or you are going to a particular school, I'll be glad to know that. For now, thank you very much. Bye-bye.